1. According to a recent poll, there are doubts about President Biden's mental sharpness and physical health. Despite both Biden, who is 80 years old, and former President Donald Trump, who is 76, being similar in age, the poll shows that people hold significantly different views about their abilities and capabilities. 2. South Africa is facing a challenging situation regarding the potential arrest of Putin. The country's opposition party has stated that if the government, which has friendly relations with Russia, fails to take action, it will step in. Despite pressure from the United States and Europe, South Africa is reluctant to commit to arresting Putin in the event of his planned visit to Cape Town in August. 3. The head of Wagner, a private military company, has said that they may have to leave Bakhmut because they don't have enough ammunition. He said that they have run out of ways to continue fighting and will have to leave if they can't find more ammunition. 4. An opposition group in Iran conducted a cyber attack on the servers of the country's foreign ministry. They defaced the ministry's website and later made public confidential information and documents that exposed the inner workings of the agency. This led to the disclosure of a significant amount of sensitive data.
Prince William paid tribute to his Pa King Charles III at the coronation concert on Sunday, saying, "We are all so proud of you," as he evoked the memory of the late Queen Elizabeth II. "I know she is up there fondly keeping an eye on us, and she would be a very proud mother," said the Prince of Wales at the event held on the grounds of Windsor Castle. He added that his grandmother had called coronations a declaration of our hopes for the future. William kicked off his speech on a humorous note. He wouldn't go on all night long with his address. Instead, William said he simply wanted to say a few words about my father and why I believe this weekend is so important. For all that the celebrations are magnificent, at the heart of the pageantry is a simple message: service. My father's first words on entering Westminster Abbey yesterday were a pledge of service, Prince William remarked. It was a pledge to continue to serve. Because for over 50 years, in every corner of the UK, across the Commonwealth and around the world, he, King Charles, has dedicated himself to serve others, both current and future generations, and those whose memory must not be neglected, the prince continued. He also commended the king's charitable contributions through his foundation, the Prince's Trust, which William said has supported over 1 million young people, many from disadvantaged backgrounds, to realize their ambitions.
1. President Biden held a meeting at the White House with top Republicans to discuss the debt ceiling issue as the deadline approaches. 2. Counties in upstate New York have expressed their opposition to Mayor Adams' proposal of relocating migrants and asylum seekers to their region for temporary housing, and they are determined to fight against it. 3. The U.S. Embassy in Havana condemned the crackdown and expressed concern about citizens being beaten for peacefully demanding their human rights.
4. London's police service, in a statement released Monday, the force did not apologize for the arrests but said it regretted the fact that activists were unable to join the planned protest because of the detentions. 5. Putin stated during his annual speech in Moscow to commemorate Victory Day that Russia's future is dependent on the soldiers who are currently fighting in Ukraine. He emphasized the significance of their combat efforts, stating that there is nothing more important at this time. 6. Building a multi-level air and missile defense system as soon as possible is our priority, he commander declared. This is to protect peaceful cities, critical infrastructure, and our people in the rear and at the front. Patriot systems create a capability that did not exist before to defeat ballistic targets. 7. The Arab League has recently readmitted Syria after being absent for 11 years. The Arab League is a group of countries from the Middle East and Africa, along with the Palestine Liberation Organization. Its main goal is to encourage stronger political, economic, cultural, and social ties among its member nations. 8. Let me decide what I am offended by. Tom Hanks spoke about canceling culture and censoring books in a new interview. The actor is against reading a book that has been changed to fit modern times. 9. Hundreds and sometimes thousands of writers gathered on the picket lines, which were set up daily outside the major studios in Los Angeles and corporate headquarters in New York.
One. As I've said all along, let's discuss what we need to cut, what we need to protect, what new revenue we can raise, and how to lower the deficit to put our fiscal house in order. But in the meantime, we need to take the threat of default off the table. 2. I have been considering the 14th Amendment, the President said. I'll be very blunt with you. When we get by this, I'm thinking about taking a look at, months down the road, to see what the court would say about whether or not it does work. 3. The 14th Amendment reads, the validity of the public debt of the United States, authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned.
4. While the Democratic governor applauded the task force's work, he declined to endorse any specific recommendations, though he pledged to continue to advance systemic changes that ensure an inclusive and equitable future for all Californians. 5. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, criticized President Biden for his inaction in response to the escalating crisis in the U.S.-Mexico border. DeSantis accused Biden of sitting around doing nothing while drug cartels gain control over the border region.
6. Israeli Air Force takes out Iranian-backed terrorists in Gaza. 7. Imran Khan, who used to be the Prime Minister of Pakistan, has been arrested. A crowd of people rushed towards the vehicle that was carrying the former Prime Minister. 8. How the Voyager probes keep going and going decades after launch. When the Voyager probes lifted off weeks apart in 1977, no one expected that the twin spacecraft would have their missions extended from 4 years to 45 years and counting.
9. The British auction house Christie's will auction some 700 pieces of jewelry estimated to be worth $150 million from late Austrian heiress Heidi Horton, whose late German husband began to acquire his fortune from Jews fleeing Nazi oppression. 10. Prince Harry, also known as the Duke of Sussex, believes that the invasion of his privacy by journalists contributed to the end of his relationship with Chelsea Davy. Ms. Davy stated that she felt a royal lifestyle was not suitable for her.
1. President Biden quietly admits the border has been in chaos for a number of years ahead of Title 42 expiration. 2. The Biden administration announced an aggressive plan to curb power plant emissions Thursday, but acknowledged the regulations could lead to slightly higher prices. 3. The former President Trump repeated election lies, wouldn't say if he wants Ukraine to win the war, and was asked about a federal abortion ban and the debt limit.
4. McCarthy says Biden dragging his feet on debt ceiling. They want a default more than they want a deal. 5. Some border patrol sectors could begin releasing migrants who have undergone strict national security and public safety vetting. 6. 6 are dead after a swarm of killer bees were disturbed following a bus crash in Nicaragua. Though the victims survived the drop into a ravine, the bee stings ultimately killed them.
7. Iran's regime plans to give power, profits to terrorism-linked groups, documents reveal. Included information on ministry workers and correspondences. 8. Ukraine's President Zelenskiy has said his country needs more time to launch a much-anticipated counteroffensive against Russian forces, as the military awaits the delivery of promised aid. 9. UK sending long-range missiles to Ukraine. The Storm Shadow cruise missile will give Ukraine new capabilities in its conflict with Russia.
10. King Charles is too soft to fix the rift between the royal family and Prince Harry despite being delighted the Duke of Sussex showed face at the coronation, a royal expert says. Rumors are swirling about Prince William and Kate Middleton. 11. Taylor Swift's incredible popularity and influence have the ability to significantly boost the success of almost anything she is associated with. Even a book, when linked to her name, has the potential to become a bestseller. 12. ACM performer Keith Urban shares the rule that keeps his marriage to Nicole Kidman strong.
1. President Biden's administration aims to put the recent controversy surrounding the Chinese spy balloons, which were shot down over the continental United States, behind them and move forward. 2. The Department of Homeland Security is forcing asylum officers to work both weekend days this week in an effort to deal with the surge of migrants at the southern border seeking to claim asylum in the U.S. 3. Finnish Prime Minister Sanna Marin announced she and her husband are divorcing. The news comes on the heels of Marin's party losing power in the April Parliament election.
4. Pope Francis on Friday blasted couples who have pets and not children and called on Rome to provide resources for young families to circumvent the demographic winter and to plant the future with hope. 5. A woman was convicted in a Russian court on Thursday of desecrating the grave of Russian President Putin's parents with a derogatory note. 6. The note read, "Parents of a maniac, take him to your place. He causes so much pain and trouble. The whole world prays for his death. Death to Putin. You raised a monster and a murderer."
7. Turkey's upcoming elections could unseat Erdogan. Turkey's main opposition candidate accuses Russia of election interference. 8. During the Academy of Country Music Awards, host Dolly Parton made a joke that caused Garth Brooks to feel embarrassed. Parton made a humorous remark about Brooks allegedly organizing threesomes. 9. As the Hollywood writers' strike moves forward, the use of artificial intelligence within the industry, specifically as it affects writers, is discussed by experts.
10. The long-awaited tour, which sold out almost immediately, when fans finally stopped screaming, Beyoncé opens the show with her first live performance of Dangerously in Love in 10 years. 11. The megastar didn't disappoint when Beyoncé kicked off her Renaissance World Tour in Sweden this week. Fans who got to see the opening night said it was the most expensive show and the craziest show I've ever been to in my life. 1. The Biden administration has unleashed a flurry of regulations this year targeting popular household appliances as part of its climate and conservation agenda and has paved the way for additional actions. 2. The top two candidates in the early 2024 Republican presidential nomination polls converge Saturday in Iowa, the state whose caucuses lead off the GOP road to the White House calendar. 3. Trump is the clear frontrunner for the GOP presidential nomination. Our massive rallies are back and bigger than ever before, Trump boasted in a video message to his supporters posted on social media Friday.
4. More questions than answers are coming out of a huge diplomatic dispute between the U.S. and South Africa over claims the African country has supplied arms to Russia. 5. Chinese-American architect I.M. Pei's architectural designs are widely celebrated across the globe. Let's take a closer look at the remarkable achievements of this renowned designer. 6. An alleged eel smuggling ring has been broken up in Europe. European authorities arrest 27, where trade of the endangered fish from within the European Union is illegal.
7. Ukraine has gained ground around Bakhmut, according to Ukrainian officials, in a rare advance in the Donetsk region as Russia awaits Ukraine's spring offensive. 8. Meet Linda Yaccarino, Elon Musk's new Twitter CEO, and the ad world's Velvet Hammer billionaire bets that NBC Universal executives with Madison Avenue ties will bring advertisers back to Twitter.
9. The visuals were amazing and very futuristic. I was living for the outfits, and all the dancers are absolutely insanely talented, Rishi says. There's something about being amongst 50,000 people singing passionately to the same song and then seeing an artist you've grown up with your whole life.